Recording in progress.
Hi, friends. It's Dr. Cindy Ross, and tonight's live is extra special. I have been talking about this all day. Peptides. I talk about them pretty much all day long. Everyone's been asking me what I've been doing, and I was telling Jason, I was like, I really need to discuss peptides because it's something that is not really talked about a lot, but it is starting to get a lot of heat. So I thought that we would dive in tonight, and hopefully you bring all the questions. So again, as always, if you have a question, please leave it in the comments below so I can see and try to answer them during the Q&A section. Let's try to stay on track. If you have an idea for another show, I'm always happy to chat about it. And you can always email me as well if you have any questions, cindy@drcindyross.com. So I am streaming live on all the platforms, TikTok, YouTube, and on Facebook. So, and I'm also recording it, so if you miss it, don't stress, it will be up online as well. So we're going to dive into something that has radically changed the way that I have been looking at health and healing, not only for the patients that I see, but for myself. Back 3-4 months ago, when I was in the worst RA, rheumatoid arthritis flare of my life, there was a friend of mine. Hey Rob, if you're listening, he kept pushing on me about peptides, and it was something I was, really wasn't sure of about jumping into. The only peptide that I'd really heard about was NAD and your GLP-1s, and so hadn't really done my homework a ton on them. And so I decided that I was tired of hurting, and I know that a lot of you can relate with that. So I was tired of hurting, and I wanted to really dive deep into fixing my body. So I started doing my homework, specifically on BPC 157 and TB 500. But then, since doing my homework, I have learned so much. And if you know me, you know that I research from the time I wake up into the time that I go to bed. So everything that I have learned along the way, that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. And I also finally finished my ebook that I've been working on that has all the info about peptides that you possibly need. And of course, there's hundreds of peptides, so I cannot possibly list all of them, but the ones that are the most popular, the ones that people are stacking the most, those are the ones that I put in the ebook. So hopefully they help you in whatever your goals might be. So it's completely changed the way that I have personally healed, train, and the way that I'm aging. So I went from, and I did a post yesterday on Facebook, I was hardly able to walk back in February, March, to I am training for my first High Rocks competition in November. So I am back running. I'm doing all the things. I'm strength training. I'm doing possibly anything that I can get my hands on as far as working out, and my body is responding very well. So we're going to talk peptides tonight. And the book that I published today on my website, if you go to lifewellnessforever.com, go to the store, and you're going to see Peptides Unlocked. It is the functional medicine guide to reverse aging, healing faster, and boosting vitality. Okay, I have it for sale for $14.99. It's about 70 pages, 68, 70 pages. And tonight we're just going to give you an exclusive inside look at what's in it. All right. So what are peptides? And how do they work? And I am following you guys on TikTok as well, so if you have any questions coming through, I'm trying to keep up. If I miss it, forgive me, please. Okay, so what are peptides and how do they work? They are short chains of amino acids. Essentially, they're tiny little proteins that send very specific messages in the body. And as we get older, we start losing these peptides, and that is why we have to replenish the body. So if you want to burn fat, there's a peptide for that. Heal joints and tissues, there's a peptide for that. That is something that I really worked on back in March, and within 3 weeks, I was feeling pretty much 100% better. I mean, every day I'm still amazed at how well my body responded to the peptides. So thanks, Rob, for pushing the peptides on me. If you want to deepen sleep, enhance mood, boost your libido, increase growth hormones, support the gut, calm inflammation, balance hormones, or even tan yourself a little bit darker. And yes, everybody asked me about my tan. I've been taking the peptide Melanotan 1. There's Melanotan 2 as well. There's also PT 141. I did Melanotan 1, and the reason I did that is because it has a lot of anti inflammatory benefits. And it protects you from skin cancer. I get in the sun maybe an hour a week during the summer. Like, that's what I've been getting in, and I've been staying pretty dark. So it definitely helps with the tan. Okay, so there's peptides for absolutely any goal that you have. They don't override your biology, they remind it what to do. That's what I love most. They work with your body, not against it. Okay, so let me give you some real examples from Peptides Unlocked. Basic fat loss plus muscle preservation stack that I recommend in the book. CJC 1295 stacked with ipamorelin. I suggest what the standard protocol is in the book, how to take it, and then also how often to take it. There's also another peptide called AOD 9604. It's for fat burning and also great to take when you're fasted. Motzi, a lot of people have been asking me about Motzi. It supports your mitochondria and metabolism, so if you are looking to burn some body fat, Motzi is great for that. Also supporting mitochondria. I have a lot of cancer patients asking me about that. It's great for the mitochondrial health. NAD+. Everybody's heard of NAD+. So I was researching and reading, and I know a lot of you are taking NAD orally. You cannot take enough orally to get what your body needs. Also, it takes a different pathway. Your liver and your kidneys have to process it orally. Your body has to break it down, and you're going to lose a lot, especially if your gut health is not up to par. You are going to lose a lot. So injection is what I do, and I do it sub-Q in my stomach, and I'm taking it about 3 to 4 times a week. So just based off of how old you are, and I always suggest getting labs done to see where you actually stand, because that's really important. You don't want to take something if you're not deficient in it, right? And we don't want to overload the kidneys. We don't want to overload the liver. We want to make sure everything's working optimally. So I always say, check with your general practitioner, get some labs done, and just see exactly where you stand. Don't just go to the gym, hear Bob next to you on the elliptical talk about some peptide that he's taking, and you just think that you need to take it because Bob said so. Don't do that. Test. That is the only way. Do not guess. So also this stack, it supports body composition and cellular health, and it's incredibly well tolerated. I really haven't heard of any bad side effects from it. So here's another one, and this is the one that I did, and I'm still on the maintenance of it as well. Recovery and joint healing protocol. So I've had several people come up to me at the gym over just the past few days talking about torn shoulders, torn biceps, ways to heal a little bit faster. So this is a stack that I've been working with personally, BPC 157. It's for tendons, ligaments, gut, and inflammation. TB 500. So BPC, I take it twice a day when I was in the flare. Now that I'm on maintenance, I'm taking it 1 time a day. TB 500 is a couple times a week, up to like 3 or 4 times a week, depending on what you have going on. And it's muscle, fascia, and tissue regeneration. KPV is one that I cycled when I was taking some time off of BPC 157. And KPV is great for calming the systemic inflammation, which it was something that I was really dealing with. And I used this myself during my RA flare after my knee injury, and it helped me to not only walk pain-free again, but I was able to rebuild strength and get back to lifting and training. So let's talk hormones, because this is where so many people are struggling. For women, CJC, ipamorelin, it helps with collagen, sleep, lean mass, and metabolism. Oxytocin is incredible for mood, intimacy, and emotional connection. Melanotan 1, in microdoses, it supports mood, energy, skin, libido, and yes, it's also an anti-inflammatory. Kisspeptin 10, it helps to reboot the HPA axis for natural hormone production. And for men, same stack plus Kisspeptin 10 to support testosterone production naturally. BPC plus TB500 for physical recovery. Oxytocin and melanotan 1 can help with performance, connection, and drive. Also, you could add C-Max or C-Link for mental clarity and focus. It's all in the book, and I've included actual units, doses, cycles, and stacking strategies that are suggested for the results. Peptides for mood, trauma, and sleep. So this is one of the most exciting parts of the books. They're called neuropeptides, game changers for trauma, burnout, anxiety, and sleep. So here are 3 that I talk about in depth, and that is C-Link, calming, anti-anxiety, enhances emotional resilience. C-Max, it's neuroprotective, improves focus, memory, and executive function. And then DSIP, which is the deep sleep peptide, it helps you get restorative, healing sleep without sedation. I do suggest a lot of these, especially if you're recovering from emotional trauma, burnout, long haul fatigue, and they work beautifully together. So safely you can stack 5 peptides. That's what they suggest, is doing 5. You can do up to 5 peptides together. And again, always check with your physician and make sure that you're not going to have any drug interactions. Get your labs done. What I love about these peptides also is they're non-addictive, easy to dose, and they're very safe when sourced responsibly. So that way, like if you're looking for that deep sleep, you're not getting on something like Ambien that is going to, be addictive and has really bad side effects. Okay, so here are some questions that came through over the past couple weeks that I've been talking about peptides on a more regular basis. So again, what exactly are peptides? Peptides are short chains of amino acids that act like messengers in the body. They help regulate healing, metabolism, hormones, mood, inflammation, pretty much you name it, and there's a peptide for it. I'm just checking the questions to make sure I'm not missing any. Are peptides natural or synthetic? Many peptides are based on naturally occurring compounds that your body already makes. We just supplement them to restore or enhance function. And I'm going to really emphasize this. Make sure wherever you're getting your peptides that you know that you're getting the real thing. I've had a lot of people say that they thought that they bought peptides and it was from a legit source, but it wasn't, and they did not feel like they got anything from it. So just to make sure whoever you are buying them from, they are a good, reliable source. Question 3, are peptides safe? When sourced properly and used under guidance, peptides are very safe, but they must be respected. So work with a provider and never buy from sketchy online sources. It seems like anytime that I'm researching peptides or I went on and made an order for peptides, I get retargeted by all of these people that sell peptides. So there are hundreds of places out there that are selling peptides. So again, I just really emphasize, make sure you know who you're getting it from. Question 4, can peptides help with fat loss and metabolism? Absolutely. Peptides like AOD 9604, MOTC-C, and CJC with ipamorelin, they help burn fat, preserve muscle, and support insulin sensitivity. And if you know me, I'm always talking about metabolic syndrome and being insulin resistant. So that is something that you should think about if you are showing some insulin sensitivity issues. CJC, ipamorelin would be something great to research. Question number 5 was, what's the difference between CJC 1295 and ipamorelin? CJC stimulates growth hormone release over time. Ipamorelin gives you a more immediate pulse, and stacked together, they support fat loss, recovery, and sleep. So some of the research that I've been doing, because ipamorelin and CJC is something that I'm adding in to retain muscle, and so one of the one of the huge articles that I read on it was make sure you take it when you're fasted in the morning, right before your workouts. That way, it helps to retain muscle, and then at nighttime on an empty stomach before you go to sleep for recovery. So there's a lot to these peptides. So if you have a specific goal in mind, remember, just do your homework on them, okay? And I know that there's a lot of chatter out there, and it can sometimes be hard to decipher. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it. If I don't know it, I will research it. Question 6, can peptides help me build muscle if I'm over 40? Yes. I've been saying muscle is life. Peptides can help improve recovery, reduce inflammation, and signal your body to preserve and grow lean mass even as hormones decline. I can tell you, I've been rucking. I've been telling you I've been out there every morning rucking. I'm now pushing and pulling sleds, and I'm doing wall balls, and I'm doing all the things, and I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life, and I'm absolutely contributing to my peptide regimen. I've taken testosterone by itself before, and I haven't seen these kinds of results, and my energy is staying up. I would say I'm pretty calorie restricted, and I'm still retaining muscle. So I'm definitely giving kudos to my peptide regimen. Question 7, what peptides are best for women's hormones? So again, that would be your CJC and ipamorelin, oxytocin, kisspeptin 10, and even low dose melanotan 1 for mood and libido. All of this is covered in detail in chapter 7 of my book. Again, it's about 70 pages. There's 9 chapters. 9 chapters. Chapter 7 is pretty much 2 chapters in one because it's based on men and women's hormones. Question 8, can peptides help with sleep and anxiety? 100%. DSIP is amazing for deep sleep. Selank and CMAX are neuropeptides that calm the nervous system and enhance focus without the sedation. I would even choose them over taking like any of like your just over-the-counter sleep aids at night, because a lot of times when you take those, you'll wake up feeling a little bit maybe hungover or still sleepy. You're not going to notice that with these. Question 9, are peptides legal? Yes, when sourced from licensed compounding pharmacies and used under provider supervision. And many are for research use only, but widely used in functional medicine. So you'll start seeing a lot of your functional medicine practitioners talking about peptides. And again, just make sure that you know the compounding pharmacy that they're coming from. Getting a couple questions on Facebook. Hi, Ann. You can get the book by going to lifewellnessforever.com. And then as far as how long do the peptides last, once you put them in reconstitution solution, they say that they last up to 30 days. So I would definitely use them within 30 days, just so you get the highest potency of them. I wouldn't say necessarily that they go bad, but the potency may not be as strong. Megan, you're asking, what do I recommend for injury recovery? TB 500 and BPC 157 worked for me perfectly. And I had a terrible knee injury, if you remember. So I would highly recommend those 2 stacked. How do you take peptides? So there's a couple of ways that you can do these. I inject mine. I do it sub-Q. I rotate spots either in my stomach, back of my arms, in my hiney, maybe in the thigh. If you want to do it in the thigh, would be fine. I don't really do it in my thigh. Also, they have nasal sprays. You can take them orally as well. There's quite a few different ways. I've done a lot of research, and it does seem like it's really hard to get in what you need orally. So, and again, let me reemphasize this. BPC 157, is also very gut healing. So I've been able to come off my probiotic, which I've been taking forever. So I come off my probiotic and my digest enzymes, and I am having superb gut health. So if that helps you out, if you're having some gut issues, some gastric inflammation, I would definitely look at BPC 157 for that as well. And then if you're taking a ton of supplements, and I do talk about a lot of supplements in this book that I wrote as well, but if you are taking a lot of supplements and then you're adding in peptides orally on top of that, that might be too much on your liver and kidneys, so really think about that. Question 11, I'm getting this a lot from my cancer patients. Can peptides help with cancer recovery? Yes, they can support healing, they reduce inflammation, repair the gut, just like I mentioned, and restore energy post-treatment. I do suggest them, but I also always say work with your oncologist on this to make sure that you're using them safely and strategically. Question 12, do peptides replace the need for lifestyle changes? This is something that I've been talking a lot about too, especially at the gym. It doesn't matter what you're adding in. You can add in the hormones, and I'm going to talk hormones probably next week, but you can add in the hormones. You can do the TRT, the testosterone replacement therapy. You can add in the peptides. But if you're still drinking, and I'm not judging, because believe me, I drank my fair share of wine a couple of years ago before I decided to go alcohol-free. But if you're drinking alcohol and you are eating crap food, there is no point in wasting your money on peptides, okay? They are not going to be the one-size-fits-all fix to your problems. I promise you that. It takes a little bit of everything. It's just one piece of the pie. You have to eat right. You have to make the right lifestyle changes. You've got to get your sleep. You got to get exercise. You have to cut down the alcohol. Add in the peptides. They're just going to help your body respond more powerfully to what you're inputting in. So again, don't waste your money if you're not willing to make the lifestyle changes, because peptides are not cheap. And the time and the effort that goes into it, it takes some time and effort, especially if you're wanting to learn about them. It takes time. So if you are wanting to add them in, be willing to make the lifestyle changes to make sure that you're getting the most out of them, okay? Question 13, how long do you stay on peptides? So the suggested protocol is that most are cycled 8 to 12 weeks with a rest period. Some are used longer as needed. It depends on goals, labs, and response. I personally am doing a maintenance on BPC 157, which means I'm staying on it at a very small dose. Pretty much all the ones that I started using for anti-inflammatory, I'm staying on at a smaller dose. But I would check your labs. I would make sure that your body's handling it fine. I go by symptoms. How are you feeling? And then if everything's good, cycle on and off. That way your body doesn't get used to them, and you will respond when you go back on them. Question 14, can men use the same peptides as women? Many of them, absolutely yes. Dosing and goals are going to be different. That's why I included 2 separate chapters in the book for both men and women. Question 15, Jane, yes, lifewellnessforever.com. Just go to the store and you're going to see Peptides Unlocked download. What's the best way to get started with peptides? Well, get my book, of course. But no, seriously, I did put a lot of information about peptides, everything that you need to know, from walking you through everything safely, step by step, with real protocols. And I would say start with one goal and then also work with your provider, whether that be your general practitioner or if you have a functional medicine doctor, definitely work with them. Drop me a comment. Or send me a message, again, if you're unsure of anything that I discussed tonight. Let me know what symptoms you're struggling with. I'd love to know if you've ever tried peptides. Maybe you didn't have any success with them. Maybe you didn't stick with it long enough. Maybe you weren't on the right ones, or you weren't doing the right dosing, because the dosing is very confusing. It is very confusing. And again, I mean, do your homework. It doesn't take much effort to do the research. Your body's worth it. Your health is worth it. You are worth the investment. Which one is best for inflammation? From Anne. Uh, BPC 157, KPV, and TB 500. Those are the three that I use for inflammation. And again, I don't use KPV and BPC 157 at the same time. I rotate them. So if I'm taking a break off of BPC 157, that's when I pick up KPV. So yeah, let me know if you've ever tried peptides. For those that are diabetic, both types, are there any precautions? Eric, thanks for that question. That's a great question. I would say start with a lower dosing if you're going to start a peptide. I think that they would absolutely benefit you for your blood sugar reason, but monitor your blood sugar. So if you're only checking your blood sugar a couple of times a day, if you start on peptides, I would definitely check your blood sugar 4 to 5 times a day, just to make sure you're not having any spikes. But ultimately, the peptides are supposed to really get you back to where you're more sensitive to insulin, and so you should respond better. But again, there's not a one size fits all for everyone, so you just got to see how your body responds. I hope that answers your question. And then, what one area that you would I would love to know this from you. What one area that you'd love to optimize? Is it energy, hormones, recovery, libido, sleep? And then I also take LDN, low dose naltrexone, at night. Some of you have been asking about that. I'm getting mine from agelessrx.com. That's agelessrx.com. And I do just a short little consult with them, but I love it. I started it again back when I started this whole regimen back in March, and my sleep is impeccable. I mean, as soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm out, solid. I don't move. So I would love to chat with you if you have any questions. And I'm not sure. Somebody asked me where I was getting these questions. These are questions that came through that people have messaged me over the past week or so, or they come to me at the gym and ask me. But I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. I was trying to keep it under 30 minutes tonight so I keep your interest. But again, go to my website, lifewellnessforever.com. You can grab my book. If you have any questions, email me, Cindy at drcindyross.com. Give me a call, 251-635-7477. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in tonight. And I hope I cleared some of the chatter about these peptides and some of the confusion. And if I get some more questions and I feel a need, we'll do another live on it. And then next week, I plan to talk about some hormones. So tune in next Thursday. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.